Tēnā tātou katoa, good evening. We now know that at least 8 people have died as a result of Cyclone Gabrielle. Authorities are bracing for more deaths, with morgues being established at Napier Port and Hastings Hospital. Just over 4,500 people are still unaccounted for. The residents of Gisborne were told to stop using water immediately today because of a major crisis. The city's completely run out of clean water. 10,000 people have been displaced by the storm and thousands are still without power. There were fresh evacuations from Auckland's west coast today, where the land is still moving. And there have been long queues at ATM machines, petrol stations and supermarkets. And the Insurance Council says the cost is going to run into the billions. Well, one of those who died was Marie Green of Puketapu in Hastings. An orchardist there is calling on the Prime Minister to visit his flood-stricken community. The area's been wiped out by the cyclone, but it wasn't floodwaters alone that caused the destruction. Here's our investigations reporter, Michael Morra.
Yeah, just silt.
On a hunt for belongings swept kilometres from her home.
Won't be wearing those again.
Kerry Hamlin, who's lived here 35 years, found only a few items, but belongings important to her grandchildren.
Yeah, that's one of my children's books, and now my grandchildren. It's one of their books.
Tangled in the mud-stricken grapevines on Puketapu's Dartmoor Road.
This looks like a desert. This actually doesn't look like my homeland anymore. There's no fences, there's trees gone, there's all those landmarks you know of, gone.
When the waves washed through her home, she was not there. Her daughter, however, was, and scrambled to the roof, where she waited for hours before being airlifted to safety.
6 hours from hell, 6 hours of having to tell my son over in London, who felt completely useless, hopeless. He didn't know what was going on.
Now it's a case of starting all over again. A place where apples and grapes once thrived, now transformed into a wasteland. It was not just the water which caused such widespread destruction in the Dartmoor Valley. It was this, forestry slash and tons of it, which smashed through stop banks on the Tutaikuri River. Alex Wilson saw it all unfold from his rooftop, all while wondering if he'd make it out alive.
For about 4 hours.
And what's the state of your house?
Yeah, the roof's come down, the ceiling's come down, sorry. And yeah, it's pretty uninhabitable. The sill's probably 1.5 meters high.
His dad, Des Wilson, who's been an orchardist 40 years, has lost 12 hectares of apples. But he says it's the slash that put people's lives at risk.
The practices that are used at the moment, they need to change. You know, we can't keep having, the destruction that, the slash is actually causing coming down the rivers. And it's so graphic of, how much blowing out stop banks, putting so many people's lives at risk.
And he wants political leaders to come and see the issue for themselves. You'd like the Prime Minister to come here?
Well, most definitely. He's in charge.
What do you want him to do about the valley?
I want him to understand.
In nearby Whirinaki, we met Steve Edge. He's been boating back and forth from his house. From above, the steel forks on the trailers of his 2 trucks worth $500,000 just visible above the floodwaters. You're effectively marooned at the moment.
Yeah, we're marooned. The water's 2 metres deep. Me and the neighbour here and another neighbour over here, we're all stuck at home. We can't get out through the forest because the only road's out through the East River there and it's blocked.
Isolated and wondering when that will change.
Well, Michael joins me now from Puketapu. Kia ora, Michael. What do the residents say they need help with the most?
Yeah, well, Sam, the residents here are an extremely resilient group, but what they do say they need is more heavy machinery to start moving the tons of slash which litter their land. And they also want fast-tracked regional council approval to start burning the logs. They say that is the quickest way to resolve the crisis that they are in. And just finally, Sam, I can confirm tonight that the 8th fatality was a local woman who lived here on Dartmoor Road where I'm standing. Her name was Marie Green. Her daughter had been desperately searching for her the past few days, and a couple of hours ago confirmed that it was her mum.
Michael, thank you for that update.